G'day everybody. We thought we should do a truck walk around. We've been promising it for quite a while. We haven't delivered. So we had a little bit of time here. We're on Fraser Island and it's like day 7 of our trip, I think. We're meant to be going back over today, back over to the barge. We're gonna wait for the tides. So it's morning now, we're gonna wait till about midday to go down the beach. I mean, we don't have to, but it's a much more comfortable drive if we do. So I thought it's a decent time to do a truck walk around. We've sort of tidied it up a little bit for this video, but we're 7 days in on a Fraser trip, so camping out of the truck. So it's not like super neat and tidy, okay? Don't write a comment saying, "You're so messy, I hate it." Okay? Because we don't normally live like this. We don't normally have it like this. Alright, we'll start out with the front of the truck. So the truck is an Iveco Daily 4x4. It's a 2013 model. It's got about 175,000 Ks on it now, roughly. We bought it second hand, and I'll explain like what it was like when we bought it. I mean, you can go back and watch our very first video if you want, but yeah, we've done quite a lot of improvements and stuff to it. Alright, so we'll start out at the front. Bull bar. We changed the bull bar that the old owner had. This one is significantly lighter. Yeah, just significantly lighter. It looks a lot better, so that's why we did that. Travel Trucks in Brisbane did all of the truck bits and pieces. I'll point out like what they did, I guess, and what other companies did and stuff, and what we did. So this is the bull bar. We really like it. I think I'm gonna try and polish the headlights a little bit. They're a bit yellow. But yeah, the light bar was on the truck when we bought it, so we just moved it over to the new bull bar. I've looked at fixed the wiring on it and stuff as well. Truck number plate. We're now a light truck, not a car. So when we bought it, it was registered as a car. We decided we wanted more weight limit. So it was like 4.5 tonne was our weight limit. We were really close to it, so we went and got it registered as a truck instead. Got our truck licenses and everything. Got it registered as a truck, so now our weight limit's 5.5 tonne, which is more than enough. We don't really want to be 5.5 tonne, but when we're not towing the caravan and we're all fully loaded with fuel and water and everything, like, it's not 5.5 tonne still, but yeah, it's just nice to not have to worry about weights at all. So yeah, got a winch that came with us. That came with the truck. I think it's an eBay special. It's an eBay special, £13,000. It's worked every time we've tried to use it, and we have used it to get out of trouble once now. So no complaints there, as long as it keeps working when we need it to. We've got a UHF aerial up the front here. That was on the truck when we bought it. Our FM aerial snapped off the other day. Grr. These are the stock mirrors and everything that have come on the truck, which are amazing. They're so good. Like, you don't need to buy truck like special, you know, clear view towing mirrors or anything. So they come on it. They're nice and big. Alright, into the front driver's seat. As I said, we're 6 days into a Fraser trip, so you'd expect some sand. There's plenty of storage in this, which is really good. Like, really big storage pockets. We have 2 full-size drink bottles in there, manual, like, and everything like that. There's just heaps of room. It's really good. There's heaps of storage all over the truck, which is amazing. Driver's seat, suspension seats for the driver and the passenger. which are really comfortable. We have no problems with them whatsoever. I think they're amazing. Everything's adjustable, step up. In the front here, we've just got our standard radio and the UHF. For navigation, we're still tossing up a few things, but basically we've got let's turn everything on. How about that? So we've got this is a Garmin RV890. I've talked about it before, but it's really, really handy, and it's been really good for navigation everywhere. Really good for navigation everywhere. Using a mix of Garmin maps and HEMA maps on it, which come preloaded. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it more than that, because it's just been a really good product. We've got a Safety Dave reversing camera hooked up, so we've got that's on just above the tow hitch. So when we're driving along in normal, like without towing, we've got constant rear vision out of the Safety Dave rear camera, which is great. Really useful because you can't see anything out of the back of the truck, obviously. And then when we've got the Caravan hooked up, we just connect the cable up and then change the channel on the Safety Dave system, and it shows you out the back of the Caravan. So we always have rear vision, which is great. Moving over, we've got a tablet which has some other navigation stuff on it. We've been trying a bunch of different apps, so we've tried like HEMA, which is Explorer 4x4, which is garbage. And we're on to Explore Oz Traveller now, which looks a lot better. Really looks like a really good solution. And like, we're just like looking for something to really go offline and plan with, rather than the GPS. So the GPS is great and it's good for driving, better than anything else for driving, I think. But for planning and like when you're real deep in the bush and stuff, the Explorer Oz has been really good, and we've liked it. We're trialing this magic mount system. We've got to sort out something with some stuff with the magnets on our phones to get it, like, for our phones to mount a bit better. But I won't drone on and on about it. So here we've got to keep our drone in there. Usually the black box under there is like cables and stuff, and we have a food esky, which is a non-zipper one, which is great. And we've got a bin. So we've got all of our little quality of life things in the truck cab here. Some people, there's enough room to actually put a 40-litre angle in between the two seats. We decided not to do that. We don't really need it, so yeah. Plenty of room up here. We've got our hats, big parcel shelf for our hats and sunnies and everything like that in there. I'll move around to the back passenger seat. So here we have, this is where the doggies live. So we've got a grate over the window here. We do that so that we can leave the window open, leave them in the truck with the window open and still be secure. We've got a little hatch that closes down and stuff, so even in the dodgiest areas we can leave the doggies in the truck for a little while, which is a necessary evil when you're living on the road. Like, it's not evil. People hit us up occasionally like, oh, you can't leave the dogs in the truck like that. But they've got a bed, they've got a like nice big foam bed, and the window's open, and we don't do it on really hot days. So they just sleep. They're happy as Larry up there for a while. It's probably better for them than anything else. They just chill out up there. So this is the doggy's bed that I was talking about. Here on Fraser we're using it for all of our stuff, like clothes and everything. Yeah, and underneath their bed, so this is where my camera bag and stuff goes normally. You can see my tripod's had some sandy work. And here we've got a tech charging station that we've made. So we've got plenty of power outlets here. We've got power at the back, we've got DC power as well. So we've got to figure out a better solution for this than this tub of stuff. But at the moment the type of stuff works for us. We've got all drone batteries charging and GoPro batteries and camera batteries and stuff, and they're all in one place, which is handy, and they all got enough power to power all of them up. Right, into the interesting part. Oh, actually I forgot the tyres, so we'll show you the wheels and tyres. These are 37-inch tyres on 17-inch rims. The Black Bears, mud train tyres. We were advised by Travel Trucks that it was a good option, and yeah, we've really liked the Black Bears. They don't have much road noise, even at 90 k's an hour, 100 k's an hour. We normally run them about 50 psi, and they're happy and they're good, and we like them. So yeah. This is my home-built dodgy firewood carrier. Not dodgy, like it works. So when we bought the truck, it had 2 AGM batteries powering it for like the house battery system. We've ditched that, like got rid of them, and changed over to a full lithium setup. And so we had this carrier for the AGM batteries around the bottom underneath the truck. So we got our auto electrician to tidy up all the wiring that was in here, because it was a bit of a mess. And then basically I've bolted on these brackets and stuff, just these brackets here that come out. I've got a little bit more work to do with it, but we can pretty much carry 2 nights worth of wood in there for fires. It's quite a large space for it, and we just strap it all down with a rubber strap there that goes wherever it needs to go to secure the load. And it's all outside of the cab, which is the best thing. Alright, into the Canopy. So here she is. She's a beauty. As I said, a bit messy because we're living in it for the last 6 days, but get that. So I decided to bring my coffee machine over to Fraser because we had the space and the weight, so why not? That normally lives in the Caravan, not in the truck. Here we have Aria's bed. So that's smaller than single, but it's perfect for her. It's the right size for her. And underneath it, we normally have the deep freeze, the angle there, 40-litre angle that we had before we left on the road. And so we've just kept that under there, and that runs all the time as a deep freeze. So we've just always got heaps of extra freezer room, which is good, because we kind of like frozen meals, because when we're on diets, the frozen meals are really good for that. So we've got plenty of room. And the porta potty lives next to it. Porta potty normally lives in there, empty obviously. And this actually flips up, and when the mattress and stuff isn't on it, it secures it with a hook up there. So normally when we're traveling, like when we're not living in the truck, it's like that. Thanks, Amanda. That just sits back up there and hooks on like so. And then we've got access to the freezer all the time. That frame was just welded up by my father-in-law for us at the men's shed, which is great. We just gave them dimensions and they just welded it together for us. We bolted it in. At the moment we've got our compressor stuff here that does normally live over the other side behind the fridge, in between the angle and the fridge. But we're going to look at more of a permanent solution for it, because it's a bit bitsy and annoying. Yeah, so we're looking more of a like permanent mounting solution, I think. But it's always a thing, like, do you keep spending money on things, or you just make do with what you've got that sort of works? So that's sort of a decision everybody has to make all the time. As for that, the compressor's the King's Thumper Max, the dual one, and it's been amazing. It's really good. Good at pumping up these big monster tyres in not too long. This is our bed. So that's a double swag. We used to have a big double max swag type thing, and that's the mattress out of it. And so this platform is like a double bed, I guess, size, maybe a little bit bigger than a double bed size. And we carpeted the top of it like so, and did some other bits and pieces. This steel frame was in the truck when we bought it. You can see it's steel frame, but it was like just blue steel. So we painted it all up and everything. We carpeted everything. Yeah. The floor of the tray was all just bare aluminium as well. So we went and got a big lino piece and installed that, cut that to size and put it in. That was a pain in the bum job, but yeah. We carpeted everywhere in the cab, so we carpeted all the edges, we painted all the bare aluminium. In the roof here, we actually got foam insulation from Bunnings, like the big pieces, like the 1 inch thick pieces of foam, I think. And we just slotted that into the ceiling in between all the beams that were running across the top of the cab, and then carpeted over the top of it. And that just stops all the condensation and everything, and it means in here it's like relatively cool. It doesn't ever get really hot. It doesn't ever get really hot in there, which is great. And like sleeping in there is perfect and fine, like no dramas. Yeah, and no condensation issues. It's been really good. We did a good job, if I say so myself. So this is my tool drawer. This drawer was built in when we bought the truck, except there was one on each side. So we left the one on this side. It's really messy, but basically I've got all of my tools, like all my bits and pieces, all my spanners and hand tools and everything in there, recovery gears in here, all our fire equipment like our axe, our electric chainsaw, tapes, duct tapes, electric tools like drills, angle grinder, etc. We've got a Ryobi fan up the back, first aid kits in there as well. Just everything that you sort of want to have when you live on the road, if you've got space for it and wait for it. So it's good. It's just all like in one drawer, which is nice, and power as well. So I'll do a separate video about power if I haven't already released it by now. It's coming. But basically we've got a power sockets in here, and so at the moment we're just charging our phones overnight off that, but normally I'll just charge like the Ryobi batteries and the chainsaw battery and stuff. The Suron, our motorbike, electric motorbike, that normally lives here in the middle, like so, and that charges off those power points as well. Up the back here, I keep my bodyboarding flippers, and we've got our Max tracks and my bodyboards over the other side, just all a few bits and bobs basically. And we got room under the drawers here as well. I've got like all cables and stuff under there. Just keep cables out of the way under there. What's next? Alright. I'm gonna get really sick of my voice, sorry. So at the back of the truck here, this is a water tank, 70 litre water tank. That was installed when we bought the truck. Like the old owner installed that, and it's been good. It's 70 litres is a lot when you're camping and not showering with it. Like we haven't filled that up since we arrived at the island. We just keep using it and keep using it, and it just keeps, it doesn't empty. It's never emptied. What else have we got up the back here? So this is our shocker hitch. With a DO35 pin on it. This is a really good piece of equipment. We didn't want to spend the money on it. I think it was about 1,200 bucks. We didn't want to buy it. We didn't want to spend the money on it. But when we first started towing the Caravan, we just noticed that we really had issues with bumps. Like where the truck was bumping differently to the Caravan. It was really jerking the truck around. And you'd think it wouldn't because the truck's heavy and the Caravan, like heavier than the Caravan. But it was putting, I think it's because we got rear leaf springs, and it was really like putting a lot of just wasn't a comfortable ride at all. And we were like, if we're going to be travelling for a year, we need to do something about this. So we caught up with the guys at Travel Trucks again, and they said basically, this guy is what you need, the shocker hitch. And they were right, because it's fixed the problem completely, and now the Caravan just rides really smoothly behind the truck. And we don't even know that it's attached except for the weight. So on the back here, this is a new tow bar. We got this replaced. We got, again, Travel Trucks. They did all the truck bits on the vehicle. And basically we had to change from the old tow bar because the shocker hitch wouldn't mount on it, wouldn't fit on the old one. So that's the way it had to be. Here we've got the Safety Dave connector. We've got an Anderson connector that we don't use anymore. We got our auto electrician in Tamworth to just basically cut that wire. And we've got everything running through a 12 pin now. So the ESC and everything runs through the 12 pin. Which is fine, like we don't even need an ESC really. It's just to be safe, I guess, to be nice. Under the back of the truck here, we've got Travel Trucks installed some rear airbags under the back. And that is because Iveco are pretty stupid, and for the European market they put a spacer on the suspension on the what side is it, the right hand side I think. They put a spacer on the right hand side so that the truck like leans the right way on the camber, so it's like straight to drive along cambered roads. And they don't change it for Australian or other right hand other left hand, like drive on the left hand side of the road markets. They don't remove that spacer and put it on the other side. So the truck always has this stupid lean, and if you look at any daily 4x4, unless they've had it fixed, they have a stupid lean on to the right, and it looks retarded. And yeah, so Travel Trucks have sorted out a solution to that, which is like to remove the spacer and blah blah blah. But probably the easier option is they just install rear airbags, and it wasn't that much. I think it was like $1,100 or something to put the rear airbags in. And so we got one on each side, and the air lines for them come out to here. And we run 10 psi on one side and 60 psi on the other side, and that straightens out the truck so it doesn't look retarded. I can't believe they did that. Anyway, yeah, it's a bit silly. But it did. It also helped the leaf packs. I think they were getting a bit. It just seems like the ride's a bit more comfortable after we put the rear airbags in. All right, so here we've got our auxiliary fuel tank. The main tank in the Iveco is only 75 or 80 litres, I think. Not very much, especially when we're towing. Like we're using about 22, 23 litres per 100. So we chew through that 70 to 80 litres pretty quickly. So we got a secondary tank. This secondary tank was installed when we bought the truck as well. It's 250 litres, which is amazing. Yeah, it's huge. And so all up, we've got like 330 litres of diesel I think we can carry, which is a lot. So we filled up before we came on the island, and we haven't filled up on the island at all, and we've still got heaps of fuel left. I think we've still got probably over 100 litres in the auxiliary and a full tank in the main. On the back here we've got our cool signage, dirty gear bag, as everyone does now. I've got a ladder up to the top, which is really cool. We use that semi-regularly. I'll climb up and show you the stall. Amanda? Amanda? Can you hold the GoPro while I climb up the ladder? She's just doing her teeth. Rightio, so I'm up on the roof now, and we've got 4 big solar panels, which are amazing. We've got 760 watts of solar up here, and it's all, yeah, there's plenty of room for it on the top of the cab. And yeah, it's good. This roof rack was already on here when we bought the truck. This is my marine mount antenna mount. I screw an antenna on there, and I got a pole antenna for remote communications. That just sticks up. What else we got? All right. Show you the front passenger side. It's much the same. Hand sanitizer, sunscreen, doggy poo bags, all the things you need on the road. My multi-tool lives in there. Big, what is it? Bloody glove box. That's right. We've got another auto electrician to put in some more charging stuff for us in here. So there's like multiple charging options in the dash there, and one light comes out and goes to the mount there for wireless charging of the phones and everything. What next? What next? This is the back seat. It's a mess. So this is where Aria sits next to the doggies here. She's got a car seat, and then we've got a spare seat here because it's actually 4 across the back. So dogs have 2 seats, Aria has 1 seat, and then there's a spare, which is good for shopping and stuff like that. Or just carrying whatever you want to carry. At the moment we've got laptops and tech in here. Yeah, we even bought it for fracking the freezer. Why not? We had it anyway. So I'll talk very briefly about power, but mostly the power, we'll do another video on the power. But under the back seat here was all empty. And so we've got the guys at Safiri. They've put in 600 amp hours of batteries behind here, a 3.5 kilowatt inverter, and a bunch of cool electric tech stuff. And so we've got power outlets in the cab here, 240 volt outlets here. And all the rest of it travels back to the Canopy over here, where all the control and stuff is. So a bunch of conduits and everything there, which go to the power panel here, which you can see. And then here we've got like solar controller, the brains of the system, the controller, light switches and everything, power down there. So yeah, we'll do a whole nother power video. First wanted to show you very, very briefly what we've got there. Here in between the cabs, that's the filler for the secondary tank. Travel truck guys did us a solid and fitted us in to fit a transfer pump between the two. The original system that was installed was like it lived under here, and it was like a big fuel transfer thing, and so you actually like got a hose out and turned a pump on and pumped fuel manually, like from the tank into the main, from the secondary into the main. We've ditched that now, and I'll stick this under and show you what they've done. Hopefully I can see. So you can see under there they've basically put a whole little transfer pump in there and another fuel filter, I think, and now we just press a button on the dash, and the transfer pump goes for 30 minutes. And yeah, it transfers all the fuel, and so we don't have to really stress about it anymore, which is great. Under here we've got our spare tyre as well. It's really chunky and big. What else? We've got some breathers as well, like diff breathers and stuff, and transfer case breathers. Again, travel trucks did all that for us and put them in. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but they just do really good work. So anytime we've needed anything done to the truck, we've gone back to them in Brisbane. We probably can't do that anymore because we're going to be taking off to the Cape and then across to WA and everything, but we've been really happy with everything that they've touched, so 2 thumbs up from us for them. Alright, kitchen. So we use this telescopic ladder to get up and down. It's amazing, really cool, love it. We've got a fridge, big 110 litre upright fridge. Stores heaps of stuff in it, which is great. We've got a freezer as well. So we've got all up between the truck, like this fridge, the deep freeze, and the truck fridge. We've got a Caravan fridge. We've got 3 freezers. So so we've got plenty of room. To get the height up, we actually had my father-in-law in the men's shed weld up this frame for the fridge to sit on. It's just basically mod steel or whatever steel, and it's welded together and bolted to the floor, so the fridge sort of lifts up over the edge here, so the door can open and close. We had this kitchen built for us in Bundaberg. When we did like a dodgy job before we left, we made it up out of plywood and stuff. Basically a very similar concept, just out of plywood, and it was pretty average and sort of falling apart after 5 months. So when we were in Bundaberg, we got these guys we got SNS horse floats to build us an aluminium kitchen. So they only had the truck for a day, which is amazing. Put this aluminium side on, latch here, built this door up, which is what we discussed with them. I'll just show you. So it just folds down and it rests on the lip of the canopy like that. So it's hinged and then it rests on the lip. So it's really solid to work on. No problems there at all. So they've built, basically they replaced our plywood design with aluminium. So we've got aluminium shelf here, you know, dividers and stuff like that. They had to put these on to support the weight of the door, the workbench, which is fine. So this is Amanda's like sorted all this out really nicely, but basically we've got grip stuff down the bottom, drawers for plates, cutlery, knives, mosquito stuff, you know, washing up stuff and all that jazz. And it's sort of like we keep most of it in here in the truck, so we're always ready to go. So it's not a massive mission to like get ready to go away in the truck. Like we can just drop the van and just put a couple of food items and stuff in and be ready to go. There's a few things we transfer between the two, like tongs and stuff, but generally we've always got like plates and bowls and cups and stuff in here. Like the cooktop stays in here. It's an induction cooktop that we just pull out on here, plug in, turn it on, cook. The pantry, just got storage in here. Usually just like sort of dry goods and then towels and stuff. Chopping board and washing up, collapsible washing up bowl. And they just go out on a workbench here. We're going to get another tub probably to put in here to contain all this sort of stuff, which is just, it's like picnic rugs and Naria's floaties and when we sleep in the truck as well, we use this, all this from Bunnings. It's one of those big like overbed nets, I think, or maybe it was from BCF. But that basically we just Velcro to the carpet around the outside of the door, and it works perfectly. And we close the other side, and so we just have one door open when we sleep in the truck, this door, and have the mozzie net down over the top of it, and it's worked absolutely perfectly. So there's not much more to show you. There is probably one more cool trick which I'll show you. So I cut this out of the top, what we had. Amanda's helping me out now. And so yeah, it's just a plywood piece that I've cut out of the top of the thing, and it rests on the metal frame, and inside is storage. And so I've got all of our spares for the truck, like we've got oils, diff fluid, transmission fluid, brake fluid now, fuel filters, air filters, just all the bits and bobs that you know can't always get everywhere, especially when like the Iveco stuff's really specific. It's not very generic stuff, so yeah, that all lives in there. And we've also got a big bladder and a 150 litre bladder that lives in here. We haven't had to use it yet, but basically when we want to go properly off-grid for a fair while, we'll just fill that bladder up, and so we'll have like 190 litres in the Caravan, we'll have 70 litres under the back of the truck that I already showed you, and then we'll have 150 litres in this thing in the bladder. And so we'll have plenty of water to go off-grid for quite a while. But when it's not being used, like it obviously takes up almost no weight. And we have to do a big shout out to Reese from Van Roman, who helped us out setting all the plumbing of that up, which was amazing because I had no idea. Alright, thank you guys very much for watching. We hope that we answered any questions about it. It's pretty it's a pretty awesome truck. Like, probably the best thing for us is that you can just pack it up. Like, it's always ready to go. It's super capable. When we go camping in it, like, it's like a little motorhome. You don't need to like I can show you our outside setup here. Just like table and chairs and stuff that all go in there where the motorbike normally goes. And so you just pull up and, you know, you've got a bed, you don't need to carry a tent around and stuff. It's just like an oversized dual cab ute, which is great. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and enjoy.